Hi everyone, welcome to the School of Nursing at Regent University. This is our student overview and orientation. I'm Dr. Ruth Cody and I'm here with Dr. Jamie Holland, and we are just wanting to welcome you to the program and give you a little bit of information about the program. So thank you for joining us. First, I want to tell you what our mission is at Regent. Our mission is Regent University's nursing program exists to create a dynamic community of learning to develop exceptionally prepared nurses who will lead to improve health outcomes local and globally. We promote excellence in teaching, research, service, and practice with a primary focus on faith integration and Christian leadership to change the world. We're committed to being purposeful, caring, disciplined, and celebrative with each student who enters our program. Our vision is that the vision of Regent University's nursing program is to be a premier nursing program dedicated to cultivating Christian leaders in the field of nursing to improve health outcomes both locally and globally. We care about our students. You're not a number with us. You are a real person, and we want you to know how much we do care for you and we care for your education. So we're going to talk for a quick second on the curriculum. We have an innovative and an exciting curriculum, and our goal is to prepare you for leadership and faculty roles. We look at the AAC in Essentials for both the baccalaureate program and for the master's program. So it's just the AAC in Essentials. So our curriculum is developed to meet the needs of the AACN and the QSN, and those two programs are really the most important for us to develop our curriculum so that we can meet the requirements for our accreditation. So we are accredited in our RN to bachelor program, and we just finally received our accreditation approval for the master's. It's effective last February when we did our research, we did our survey, but we just received our notification because of COVID. It was delayed. So I'm really excited to share that news with you. But I want to talk a little bit about the RN to Bachelor program. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I just want to tell you we have 9 nursing courses. There are really 120 credit hours required for nursing, but most of your getting your license and your associate degree or your diploma will transfer over. So that's going to be on an individual basis, so I can't give you any particular numbers on that, but most of them will transfer over. The 9 nursing programs, there are the important thing that I want you to take away with is that your very first nursing course should be 301. Nursing 301 is transition to professional nursing. This kind of sets the tone and helps you with the rest of the program. The very last program is the 498, and that's the capstone, the last course. So 301 starts you out and 498 finishes you off. There are 3 practicum courses. So I want to relieve your fears now, because I know that all of you, when you hear clinical, you get palpitations from when you had to go into your first clinical in the hospital. So I don't want you to stress over that. The first clinical is 310, and that's the assessment course. In the assessment course, all you are doing is you're going to pick a volunteer that you know. Your faculty will serve as your preceptor, so you don't have to go find a preceptor. But you do need to find a volunteer. It cannot be a patient. It has to be a friend. And you're going to do a physical assessment. You're going to get your 45 clinical hours by doing you're going to interview your patient just like you would anybody else. You're going to do the health assessment by interview, and then you're going to do a physical assessment, and you're going to videotape that, and you're going to upload it only to your instructor. So it's not anything you have to share with the whole class, but it's just that is your practicum part. You will need to do social determinants of health. So all of that research that you learn going into that assessment counts towards your hours. So I don't want anybody to worry about that part. The second one is the 330 course in Nursing 330, and that's leadership. The 8 hours of that you get preparing a PowerPoint point on leadership. Again, that's something you share with your instructor. If you wish to, you have the opportunity to share it with your classmates. Don't have to, you don't have to do a presentation. You're creating a PowerPoint. You get 8 hours for that. The other 37 hours are done by shadowing a leader of your choice. Now in nursing, we have a lot of leaders. It can be a team leader, it can be a charge nurse, it can be a nurse manager, a nursing supervisor, a nurse executive. So there's a lot of choices, and it's somebody that you find that you want to shadow. It's not hands-on care, it's shadowing, and it's learning leadership skills. And you would find a preceptor that has a bachelor's or higher. And that's more that we'll talk about as we go along, but I just wanted to touch on that. The third course that is the practicum course is community health. The first thing you're going to do is a windshield. Essentially, you're going to drive around in your car and look at your community, and you're doing an assessment just from your car. And then after that, you're going to go into whatever setting that you want to do, whatever whatever excites you, whatever you want to do. It can be the health department, it can be home health, it can be hospice, it can be jump in Dr. Holland, some of the places.
Oh, I mean, if you're interested in doing outpatient care, if you're interested in doing a different type of nursing, we encourage that. We want you to do that. We want you to go where you probably even consider going where you haven't considered yet, to make sure that you really have a full breadth of understanding of what the direction you may want to go, because from here you may decide to go, if you're in your bachelor's, you may decide to go on to your master's, and you can really start to build and personalize your education to your interest. So this is a great time to start thinking about that. It's no pressure, but just consider what it is where you want to be in the 5 years. Strategically plan the direction you want to go. So that's really what this is about. So whatever the field is, whatever part, nursing is so beautifully broad that you can change and you can redirect, and maybe you want to stay right in the field that you're in, just would like a little more education with it, and just to solidify some of those things. Absolutely. But if you want to consider, I highly encourage people to consider looking in a different direction, just to make sure that you're turning your head, not just becoming too tunnel visioned in the direction that maybe you started. And then, if nothing else, it will contribute to the way that you provide care. No matter where you go, it will contribute to that. Those hours will contribute to your personal relationship with your patients. So first, welcome. I'm really happy that you're here. I'm really excited that you're here. This is a great opportunity for you, and it's really it's impressive that you've made it this far, and I'm really happy that you're part of the cohort, and I do hope that you choose to contribute as much as possible as we go through these next, and that we gain a relationship with you, not just going through course by course. We really want to know who you are. We want to understand what's going on in your life and how we can best support you. So for your master's program, we have 2 tracks, which we just mentioned. They are accredited by the CCNE, and that's awesome. Yay! That's been in the works since, February of last year, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, it was pretty much, we knew that was going to happen, but with COVID, there was some delays. So we're really happy to finally get the approval letter officially, not just the, yeah, you're going to be. So yay, that's how that works. And then there are 2 tracks. So you have the leadership and you have the education track. With those, the biggest thing that you have to remember is we're here for you. We're going to help you get through it. It's not big and scary. We're able to walk through. It's one bite at a time. So how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So that's how we're going to do this. So you have to start, or we would really like you to start, and we want you to start, and it really will make sense to the rest of your journey if you start with the first course being 508. So as you're enrolling and things like that, we'd like 508 to be in that first session that you have with us. 508 is the theories course. When you're doing this, I hope that you're starting to kind of frame the end. So we start with the end in mind. Just like with assessment, when you walk into when does discharge start? When does discharge planning start? When you walk in the room, it starts from the beginning. It starts with that report, that very first report. So we're going to start with the end in mind. So if you can, and this can change, it's not a pressure point, but this can change over time. But if you start with theory and you start considering the direction you want to go, a quality improvement, because at the end, with the end in mind, we're going to end with a quality improvement project. And we'll work through what exactly that's going to look like. No, don't, that's the whole elephant. Don't go there. So don't worry about it, but we are going to get there. And so just think about the direction you're going. Now, these things can change. If you say, hey, I really think I'd like to do a quality improvement project, and maybe I'll do it in, you know, how people relate to diabetes or something like that. And then you completely decide you want to work more with social determinants of health and how that relates to maybe not diabetes, which you actually could, but like you want to go in a different direction altogether, it's okay. We can do that. It's not set in stone. So don't get too anxious about that. And if you have no idea what kind of quality improvement or even what a quality improvement project is, you're still in a good place. We got you. So don't worry about that. We'll work through that. We'll talk through it. And this really, it's about finding what drives you in nursing. What is the passion that drives you? And so what is the area that, you know, God has placed you there for a reason, and what is that? And, you know, what is the care that he wants you to be contributing to the nursing profession? And so that's really where we'll start. And that starts with theory. So we'll start, and that's currently that is course 508, but it is the theories course. And then at the end, I already mentioned it, we'll get to quality improvement project, and you'll have a capstone, and then you'll graduate. And it's really not difficult, but we have to do it one bite at a time. So I'm looking forward to having you in our courses, and I'm going to hand this back. Did you want to add anything to that, Dr. Cody?
I think we mentioned you have some credit hours or practicum hours.
Yes.
And there are 350 hours, and before you have a panic attack over that, it is spread out throughout the whole program. So for example, in one class, you might get 10 hours, or you might get 30 hours, depending on what the assignment is for that class. I also want to say that the groups will start out together. We have 5 core courses. And so the leadership track and the education track are working together at the beginning, and then you'll split up for some of your specific area. And then at the end, at the practicum, you guys come back together and present to each other and to the class. So it's really exciting when you get to from one to the other. So that's all I need to add.
Thank you. Yeah, no, absolutely. So definitely, it's that 350 hours. Again, don't panic on those. They're not the same kind of hours as you did when you were, or as you participated in when you were receiving your RN. That is a whole different. That's a whole different animal, really. This is a different way and a different. You will have some opportunity to have that inpatient type of opportunity, but that doesn't. It's not as set in stone as to what that looks like. We are able to be more diverse in how your hours are gained, and we'll work through all of that. Those are just the details, and honestly, you're going to be fine. We've set this up with you in mind as a working professional, as an adult, to be able to process through this and walk through this while still caring for your family and your life and yourself. So. Yeah.
The beauty of this is this project is what excites you. So right. in nursing school, you had to do what excited everybody else, and that you had to have this, and this. But this is what is your passion. What is in nursing that you see needs to be changed? So that's just some things to think about, and think about what your passion is anyway.
Ruth, we have some really great resources too. So as you're going through this, and we're going to support you all the way through, but we also have some great resources here at Regent University. So did you want to talk about those? Because I know you're very familiar.
I'd love to. The first one is the library. Look around the library. Spend the time, when you're getting started, to look around and see what resources are there. Mm-hmm. The database CINHAL, CINHAL, is specifically healthcare. So it's a great database. You can find that in the library. There's a lot of resources there. But I do want to point out that there is a librarian who is dedicated to nursing. Her name is Anne Moriarty. She is very, very bright. She knows where anything is. I looked for a paper for days, and then I called her, and in 15 minutes she had it to me. So she can find anything for you.
She's very good. I've had that same experience where I'm hunting, and I was actually looking for I was looking for a specific database, and I called over and I was like, do we have this? Why can't I find this? And it was kind of embarrassing how quickly she gave it to me. So yeah.
She's wonderful. Another thing that we have is a student portal, and you'll click on that, and it's the College of Healthcare Sciences. And what I'm really just going to tell you is there is a link there that will take you to your nursing practicum guide. and that will help you to see where all those credit hours that we talked about, where you can find that stuff,
If I
and things
may,
that you need for practicum.
I'm sorry.
What? Oh,
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. I was going to say we're going to send those links out. If they
yes.
aren't able, if you're not able to see them, we're going to send them out to you. So don't, yeah, they're here. They'll be here for you.
That's also where you'll find your student handbooks, and there's the bachelor's handbook and the master's handbook. And those are just really, really great information for you. Another resource that we have here is called the Center for Student Happiness. I don't know any other college that has this, but it's the Center for Student Happiness. In the Center of Student Happiness, and there is a link to that. You actually go to that, or you can even search it in your, just search it in the Regent website.
Yep.
And anyway, they have some resources there. They have a student success coaching, so they help you to be successful. They have some coaching there. They have a writing lab. So if writing is a struggle for you, or if you're having some issues in the first class or the second class and you just need some help, they're great. And you do it online. You can make an appointment and you do it online. So that's really great. They have a math lab, and that's another wonderful resource if you need that. And then another resource that Regent has is called Grammarly, and that's Grammarly. It is totally free for Regent students. I think if you had to pay for it, it's like $100. So it's free for Regent students. Please download that, because as you're writing your papers with your Grammarly is going to help you write your papers. They're going to tell you that you spelled something wrong, or they're going to tell you that you need a comma here or not there. So it's really, really a great resource. The next thing I want to talk about is the APA. There are APA and scholarly writing workshops that are available, and we'll send you the link for that. So APA is the format that we use in nursing. So all of your papers need to be APA, as all papers have to be in Microsoft Word. As a student at Regent, you are provided with, what's it called, 365?
365, the Office
Yes,
365.
Microsoft 365.
Yeah.
So you are given for free. You're given the Microsoft, you're given Excel, you're given PowerPoint. So those things that you're going to need in courses, you will have. We cannot accept anything that is not in a Word document. It doesn't show up in Blackboard. All papers have to go through Blackboard. We can't grade papers that you email to us. They have to go up in Blackboard. So just keep that in mind. It's not that we don't want to help you. It has to go into Blackboard. That is the record, and that's where we can grade it. Also, I want to say that one of the things that you will see with your assignments is a rubric. The rubric is the thing that tells you what you have to get the most points. So there is the first column, and you'll look at that rubric and it'll say, you have this, 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 and this. And if you have that, then you get the most points. If it says 5 references and it says 5 scholarly references, it's going to be in that first line. If you have 3 scholarly sources and 2 other ones that are not scholarly, again, we're looking for peer-reviewed scholarly sources. And that is something we're going to talk about as you go through. Nothing to get stressed about. Our library has great resources. And so I don't want you to worry about it, but I do want you to know that it has to be in Microsoft Word, and it has to go in through the Blackboard. I already talked about the clinical hours, the 3 classes, the assessment, the leadership, and the community. Leadership and community, you will need to have preceptors. I'm gonna let Dr. Holland talk about the masters.
Oh, right. And so with the master specific, the portfolio, we're going to have a couple of things that you'll gain over the course time and that you'll be looking at. So again, remember, we're doing this a bite at a time, and it'll all come together. And so once you get to your capstone, we're going to have things, it'll all come together into this big, this big capstone project, really. And you'll be able to, and what the goal of a capstone project is to demonstrate the learning that you've had over the time that you've been here with us. That is what a capstone student does. And so with that, you'll have a portfolio that you'll create. We have a couple of different modes that can be presented on. And again, we'll get to that when we get there. We will have the most up-to-date and whatever the best thing is and the most evidence-based option for you at that time. So we don't want to get we don't want to get too far ahead and say, oh, you're going to be making a PowerPoint. Actually, you won't be making a PowerPoint on that, but it'll be a portfolio. And that's, again, so as we're going through and you have that paper that theoretical paper, you have that, even if it's not going to be the end result, save it. Save these pieces as you go through. Save that. Make sure you're putting that somewhere that's safe, that's protected. You put it in the, on your backup drive, because you're going to want to use that, and it's going to make your life a lot easier when you get to when you get into that capstone, when we're wrapping things up. So your portfolio, it'll be done then, and we'll work on it together. We'll get through this. The capstone paper, yeah, we're going to go right through it. And there will be grading criteria, a rubric will be provided. Everything that you need will be right there. I just read one and it was beautiful, and it was just really well done, and everything was laid out, and it wasn't. I don't think that the student would say, and I know her very well, that it was too difficult to do. It was just putting it together. So you'll have all of the tools that you need, and then you will have an exit presentation. And so and we look forward to it. We love to see all the faculty will be involved, your peers will be involved, your cohorts. We invite the cohorts that you are ahead of to come and see this. So absolutely. And you will, so you'll have an exit presentation as well. And all of the details will be there right when you need them. So again, not to get it too far ahead of it, but that's the MSN specific. And we already mentioned that the practicum hours are not the same as what they are in your undergrad or in the RN program. So yeah.
You can, I told you earlier, it's 350 are required. If you're thinking about going on for your doctorate, you can get extra hours in your practicum to get you up to 500 hours. You can't get more than 500 in your in the program, but those 500 hours can be applied to your doctorate program if you want to move on. I talked to you earlier about the handbook and that being on the site. That's going to tell you what you need for your preceptors and about the clinical hour log. So you'll log everything from the beginning. In one of the core classes, you're going to have like 10 hours. So you want to keep that log and build on it throughout the program. So also in the handbook, this is just very brief. Please read the progression policy. In the bachelor program, RN to bachelor, you need to maintain a GPA or a grade point average of 2.0 or better. And then the master program, you need to maintain a 3.0 or better. Not a problem. I know you guys can do it. Just be aware of that. And again, that information is in the handbook. I want to talk about an incomplete grade. There's some other things, as we go through, you have to get a C or better in your nursing courses. You have to maintain an unencumbered nursing license. We do check on your nursing license. You can enroll in a class only twice. If you fail a class twice, then you're out. If you fail a class twice, you would have to appeal to see, but our policy is you can fail it twice, only twice. But we're not going to have that, because I can think on one, I can't count on one hand the people that have failed a class, and that's from not turning in work. So we work with you. We want you to succeed. That's our goal. So we are available to you. We are happy to help advise you as far as if you want to know what courses to take or where to go. We're available for you. We give you contact information to get a hold of us. So don't worry, we got your back. We're going to help you every step of the way. I do want to talk about incomplete grades. There are some times that you cannot get certain things done in the 8 weeks, and this is generally this is really referring to the practicum hours, because a lot of times we have to go and get an affiliation agreement, and depending on your system, that's where you're going to do your practicum. sometimes it involves getting, it's called an affiliation agreement. And if it's a big system, they have lawyers involved, and we have lawyers involved. And so we have to get that agreement. And sometimes that takes more time. Another thing that you're going to have is something called Compleo. So I'm going to tell you this now so you can start getting your paperwork together, because you need to have your shot record, either your shot records or your titers. If you're working in a hospital system, you have provided this to somebody. If you went to nursing school, you have provided this to someone. You also need to do a background check and a urine drug screen. So those are some things that you will need to get, not right away, just but before you go into your practicums, you have to have that. Sometimes you have to get an incomplete because you didn't get your practicum hours because of whatever delay. I want to point out to you that to get an incomplete, you have to have completed 70% of your coursework. So you can't use an incomplete just to get a better grade so you have more time and I'm going to work on my paper. You have to have completed 70% of your work. The next thing I want to talk about is, as you're going on, this is something called Safe Assign. Some projects or some courses, some programs use something called Turn It In. It's the same thing. When you submit certain assignments, it goes through Turn It In. And there is an originality score. You're able to see your originality score. What we're looking at is plagiarism. Plagiarism is using somebody else's work as your own without giving them credit. So that's just a really, really, really important thing. It goes to your integrity. Sometimes it's accidental, but that's something that we have to learn, paraphrasing and that type of thing. But that report is going to tell us. So that's something that you can also see your originality report. The whole purpose is to prevent plagiarism and to give people credit for their work. That's it for me. I think that's it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that pretty much is that's what we needed to go over for orientation. So this is what we have. We are here. We are available to you. You will be getting more information as you go through, but this is kind of the nutshell of the programs. And so we are looking forward to seeing you. We're looking forward to having you in our courses, to meeting you and actually in growing with you. So please don't hesitate to outreach us. We like to work through and we like to work through the situations that we know life happens. This year has been incredibly special that way. So yeah, we will do all that we can to support you and to give you some great options if you are having difficulty with getting through something or this, that, or the other. But really, we're real people too. It happens, and so like things happen in life, and so just let us know how we can support you.
And the key is to let us know while it's going on and before
Right.
your paper is late or your project is late. Just let us know. We're here to help you. And I'm going to add to that Regent does. This is the end of every YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and that's Regent in general. I just wanted to throw that out there. I look forward to working with you, and I know Dr. Holland does, and we're here to support you. And we know that you're going to be very successful in our program.
Definitely. All right. Have a great afternoon.